He looks like he never showers and wants to work fewer hours. Bernie Sanders goes nuts and looks like a putz. Our video of the day comes from a mysterious old man in Washington, D.C., waving his hands and making noises. Roll it.
Senator Sanders, can I talk to you about the 32-hour work week? It seems like Fox Business. Yeah. It seems like Democrats want businesses to be taxed more, pay their workers.
Really? Is that what you think?
pay their workers.
Excuse me.
I didn't get to ask a question.
Okay, thank you.
Senator,
you want to hold it? Okay. We held a hearing on a 32-hour work week because what we have seen is that over the last 50 years, despite a huge increase in worker productivity, almost all of the new wealth has gone to the top 1%, while 60% of the people are living paycheck to paycheck. Many of our people are exhausted. We work the longest hours of any people in the industrialized world. I think it's time for a shortened work week.
Could I ask you a question about that? It seems like Democrats want businesses to be taxed more,
really?
that's not my assumption. Pay their workers more,
so.
lower prices, and now pay people not to work.
You know what I would like to see?
How are businesses going to survive that? That's the question. How can businesses survive all of those proposals?
When Mr. Bezos pays an effective tax rate lower than the average worker, I think we have a real problem in our tax system. I think that billionaires have got to start paying their fair share of taxes. Thank you.
Wow. Bernie hasn't been that fired up since he sent a bowl of soup back at the deli. He's after billionaires now that he's a millionaire. Had to change that. Answering that question was the hardest he's ever worked. I think he needs a vacation at one of his 3 houses. So that was FBN's very own Hillary Vaughn, or Mrs. Peter Doocy, asking Bernie Sanders about his proposal to establish a 32-hour work week in the U.S. with no reduction in pay. The bill would also reduce the threshold for those who work overtime, something Sanders has never done. Unless, of course, you count that time he tried to comb his hair. But has Bernie even worked 32 hours in his life? He can push this bill, which promotes employees getting paid more to work less, but most people just call that working for the government. But do the math. Paying the same rate for 20% less work would lead to 20% fewer workers. We'd have to call the 5 the 4. And that's not how I want Jesse Waters to get fired. Thank you. I want him to get fired because the public demands it. But what Dems don't understand is that the real minimum work week is 0, which is ironic because that's how much most of their voters work. All right, dig in. Did you ever watch a video and wonder, what does it smell like?
Yes!
Like, I could sense a mix of a bad tooth and aqua velva.
I'm thinking just solely Bernie breath.
Yeah, she was so close to her.
Exactly. That's what, don't get close to me. The halitosis of an old comic coot is probably, I'm thinking, raw garlic, trying to increase the blood flow, and then swilling Listerine, trying to cover the raw garlic up. And just a word to the wise, if you get that close to my face, I am gonna headbutt you in the teeth.
I think that's why you're not a man on the street reporter. I think they keep you up behind a desk for the safety of others. All right, Kat, we focus on how he's saying it, but the stuff he's saying is infuriating. He says it's the top 1% get the most. They also pay the most taxes, the top 1%. And he always says this thing, billionaires should pay the same rate as everybody else. No, everybody else should pay the same rate as a billionaire. Why does it have to go higher? Theirs should go lower.
Yeah.
Thank you. One man clap.
I mean, I don't believe in taxes, so there's that. I mean, this is a classic story of government getting involved in small business. Never works out well. But I'm not going to be one of those people that says, you know, like, what, you only want to work 4 days a week, like, gross, snowflake, blah, 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 you know, when my job is this. Like, whatever. I mean, I work hard. I work pretty much every day, especially since I'm back on tour starting tomorrow. Tickets are all shows available now at therealcattiff.com. Thank you. But, you know, whenever I think of saying, like, I work every day, you know what, I just picture, like, someone hearing me say that while they're, like, shoveling coal.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, and also, you're right, he totally only started saying, well, billionaires are the problem when he became a millionaire himself. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, millionaires weren't the problem anymore. I think it's a good thing to want to make money. I think we should encourage people to be prosperous.
Exactly. You know, Tyrus, to Kat's point, jobs are different. There are some jobs, HR, PR, academics, think tanks, you can compress your work because you're not working that much. But there's some jobs that you can't compress. Like if you're working in an industry where you have to speed up, you're going to have an industrial accident.
Well, or you're going to fail.
Yeah.
I don't know, Bernie. Today with the blood flow, he just reminded me of like he just took his Viagra and his window was closing, and she was like trying to stop him, and he's like, "Hey, look, man,
yeah,
like I got 20 minutes for this, like I gotta go, like and he kept using his hands like because he's like, no, not you, I only have so much time, like let me go."
You have to do it on your show. You have to do a whole segment on the Viagra window. I don't think anybody's ever talked about that.
No, well, what happens is guys get cocky and they go too early. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're at dinner at 7, like, come 10 o'clock, they're like, we gotta go, man. Gotta go. I'm guessing. I will talk about it on my tours this summer for those that aren't already sold out. But no, just that's Bernie. We laugh and we joke, but here's the thing: they're going to ruin the lives of lower income Americans because they're going to be replaced. Mm-hmm. Because why do I have to pay them more and they work less when I can have an AI cashier? I can have an AI pour your drinks at the bar. I can have a robot do my stuff in the factories. So what they're going to do is, yeah, you get your 3 days off. You can only have to work 4 now, but we don't need you because you're too expensive. The robots is cheaper. Outsourcing overseas is cheaper. So then you'll have what? A huge group dependent on who? The Democratic Party.
I want to get that Saudi Arabian robot.
Which one? The Birkin one?
Yeah. Although that Birkin would get caught in the machinery and then I have a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Don't wear that on the assembly line.
Were you freaking out because your robot's burqa came up and someone saw the robot leg?
You never know.
You're like, hey, that's mine.
Pete, you know she's married to Pete Ducey. Do you know that?
I do know that. Yes.
Yeah. Do you think they, in private moments at home, they try to compete, like on who had the better media moment?
Well, I was actually thinking, do they practice on each other? Okay, I'll be Karine Jean-Pierre. You ask me a question.
That's how you keep a marriage fresh.
Yeah. I'll be Bernie Sanders. You approach me in the hallway. Maybe.
A little role play, you know.
Keeps it spicy.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's important.
You wear the Sanders wig.
Don't brush your teeth for 3 days. Make you feel it. More garlic. Oh, that's about all we need to talk about.
I think so. I don't even have to ask you a question. All right, up next, a brand new trip for the most infamous ship.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.